are the Arcturians? They are one of the most commonly reported aliens or beings seen on Earth. So who the heck are these guys? Let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, and smash that bell to be notified of future videos. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I'd love to see you there. And please let me know what you think as I'm going through the story. All right, so the Arcturians are possibly the race that I have interacted with. It's kind of hard to tell, assuming I have interacted with any aliens at all. If these can be described as aliens, I talk about higher dimensional beings a lot on the channel and cosmic forces. So Arcturians may be one of these beings or types of beings. They seem to be composed of multiple races, forming one common culture. And it's, it would be a good idea to know who these guys are. We talk a lot about the Greys and the Mantids and the Pleiadians, the Nordics. Well, the Arcturians are right up there in terms of human interaction and involvement. They seem to be mostly good guys. So let's find out who they are. Our best information on these guys is people who can interact with higher dimensions, who can raise their vibrations. And yes, this is going to get kind of woo-woo. So depending on your woo-woo threshold, you might really enjoy this and get something out of this. But yeah, people whose third eye is open, who can channel information and, interact with beings on their own frequency or vibration or dimension, because these Arcturians do seem to come from a higher dimension, not necessarily our 3D reality, and they are often depicted as these blue guys. Again, they seem to be composed of different races, but they are typically, depicted as these blue guys, and they're kind of little, I believe, like 3 or 4 feet tall. So keep that in mind. Here is a channeler, someone who can channel information directly with the Arcturians, and she's going to tell us a little bit about them. So let's listen.
Who's just joining us and who's never heard of them before, or maybe just like a smidge. They've heard a smidge, but they don't know a lot. Can you give a broad overview? Who are these Arcturian beings?
Yeah. I think the best that we can do is broad, right? Because they're vast and varied, and it's basically an advanced civilization from the star system Arcturus. But that captures very little. I mean, if you think about if you think about how many different races we have on this planet, it's kind of like that. There's so many races within the Arcturian civilization, right? So we can kind of give an overview and say, oh, it's an advanced civilization from the star system Arcturus. But that is so broad. And so they are here, they are ever present. They are, fifth dimensional and higher beings, 5th, 6th, 7th, and up till 12th I've worked with. And what that means is that they vibrate at a faster frequency, right? And so because their consciousness is evolved, and they don't have physical density. They have physical form. I actually never see them in physical form, but people talk about them having physical form. But it's more etheric. It's not dense and like what seems like material in our world. They rarely come to the 3rd dimension. It's very hard for them. It's very dense. And the concern is they would get a little bit trapped if they lowered their frequency to be here. And so mostly they communicate with us telepathically, really primarily telepathically. And so, when we have conversations like this and we're connecting with them, we are opening the channels to receive their higher intelligence. And that helps us be transition specialists, and it helps us to serve the evolution that we're, this wild ride humanity is on right now, and they're we call them an advanced civilization because they are essentially us, but millions of years ahead of us and progressed. And so they have lots of information that they can share with us. We also call them advanced because they're incredibly technologically sophisticated beings. They know how to navigate our psychology in a supportive, benevolent way. They're here to help us, open in these, like, kind of crack our psychic abilities open. They're here to help us remember our multidimensionality. They have starships. They have incredible technology that's kind of top of the chain in the universe. So, you could refer to them as advanced for lots of different reasons. And I hope that gives a little bit of an overview, but they are one of the benevolent races who are related to humanity that are here to help us at this time. They're here more than they have been in the past, but they're always present if we want to connect, right? They're like right here.
Right here.
They're right here. They're like sitting next to me on the couch.
Yeah, so they're right here. They are goodly. Although there do seem to be a range of them. They are probably the beings that I have interacted with, if I have interacted with any beings that are non-human, that are flesh and blood. If these can be described as flesh and blood. And I think they can. They just are flesh and blood on a higher vibration. And I know this is pretty woo-woo for a lot of you guys, but this is where the research goes. If you have, investigated UFOs, you will see that there is a large consciousness connection to a lot of interactions with UFOs and even higher dimensional connections, that a lot of these craft and beings seem to come from higher dimension. Whitley Strieber calls them fissures in the stream of time, meaning that the beings that he's interacting with are actually coming from outside of time and space. And these Arcturians exist in a similar state. Time doesn't seem to have any meaning for them in the way that it does for us, and they come from a higher dimension. And so a lot of the UFO phenomenon seems to have a dimensional aspect, or an extra dimensional aspect. There are multiple dimensions, possibly multiple densities, and there are layers and layers, and it gets weird. Now, I am a Reiki master. Actually, I'm one level above a Reiki master. I'm a Karuna. I have my Karuna attunement, and sometimes during a Reiki session, beings are said to come in to assist in the healing. I've never seen these beings, although I've been present when they have been there. And other people have seen them and I haven't, which is very frustrating. Many people think that these beings are the Arcturians. So the Arcturians are assisting humans with this healing energy. And I know that sounds woo-woo to a lot of you people, and I can only encourage you to seek out a Reiki healer and try it for yourself. Hopefully you'll get a good one, and you will be convinced of the reality of this really cool energy. I'm very happy with Reiki. A few years ago, I would have thought it was all pretty silly. But then I felt it, and I know that it's not. It's actually really awesome. And there are higher dimensional beings that are said to help humanity connect with this healing energy. And they are thought to be the Arcturians. So, I'm very curious about them. Since I may have had some interaction with them and been present when they are around, I really want to know more about these guys, and I invite you to, seek out your own veins of research on the Arcturians, because we do talk a lot about the Greys and the Mantids and other races, Pleiadians and the Nordics, and we don't talk a lot about the Arcturians, and part of that is because they don't seem to manifest in our reality as flesh and blood entities very often. They kind of exist in this half state when they come here You know, you can see them, maybe even interact with them a little bit, but they're kind of more etheric. And most interactions are just through consciousness, and you know, various ways they interact with humanity, synchronicities, etc. So anyway, I just wanted to make this piece about the Arcturians because they don't get a lot of play in the mainstream ufology, but they do seem to have a heavy interaction with humanity. And it's good to keep them in mind, and also keep in mind that there are positive forces out there, not just negative. In fact, all of my interactions, except for one, have been very positive. And so I am positively disposed toward the phenomenon in general, and I wanted to share some goodwill toward the phenomenon and a little bit about the Arcturians, who are thought to be one of these benevolent forces. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Please give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And smash that subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. And join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I would love to see you there. Until next time, this is Jack with Cosmic Road signing out.